What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Horror Heads podcast. I am Rich Mallory here with my co-host Jerry Lorenko.
The fuck's up, Rich?
Man, I don't know. I'm not doing too well today. It's day two of some fires that are nearby, and I've been breathing in smoke for the past 2 days, so my throat is shot. So if I start spitting up blood or if I fall down, Jerry, take over the show.
We'll just turn off your cam and continue. I mean, we'll just do
Perfect.
what we
Well, I'm
got
going
to
to turn it
do.
off anyway. I'm going to turn the camera now. So you can follow us on Instagram at Horrorheads Podcast. Email us to horrorheadspodcast at gmail.com. You can listen to this wherever podcasts are available. We highly encourage you to go over to YouTube where you can watch the video. We release episodes every Tuesday, so check it out. Tonight we're going to be talking about Child's Play 1 and Child's Play 2. And if you are on YouTube, you will notice that we have two very special guests. So we have Aaron from A&B Horror Movies is back on our show. Welcome, Aaron.
Yes, thank you. This is going to be so much fun. Rich and Jerry, I'm very happy to be back. This is going to be awesome.
So happy to have you back. And we also have a new friend of the show, Adam, who hosts the Ghouls Gone Wild podcast. So Adam, welcome.
Hello, and thanks guys for letting me come on. It's my first time being here, so be gentle, please.
We will try to be gentle, but we will be gentle because Adam is in Australia and it's 10 a.m. there, so it's very early. Jerry and I have been up all day, so we're a little crazy, a little wired tonight. So yeah, we're gonna talk about Child's Play 1 and 2. Before we get to that, I'll just go one by one. So Aaron, for those who don't know you, I know you're a friend of the show, you've been on before, but tell everybody about your podcast, how they find it, how often you release episodes, all that good stuff. Here's your chance to plug your shit.
Absolutely. So you can find me on YouTube at A&B Horror Movies. I host a lot of interviews with directors, industry experts, fans of horror. So you can check me out there. And on Instagram, I'm at Aaron's Movies 8587, where I geek out about my love for physical media, collectibles, and horror films. So A&B Horror Movies on YouTube and Aaron's Movies 8587 on Instagram.
Yeah, and two things just to jump on that. Number one, if you're watching on YouTube, you will see Aaron has a ridiculous amount of physical media behind him as well as collectibles. And he told us that is just A through G. And there is 3 times the amount in the rest of the room. So you should totally check that out. He's got a lot of good stuff over there. And the other thing I would say is Aaron, I'm going to get these names messed up the whole night. Aaron does have a lot of really great interviews. And a lot of the interviews that we get are people that are on his show first. And we asked him to introduce us. So you can hear the first time someone gets to speak to them, and then you could hear when we get them and they're pretty, beat up by the time
It's a letdown.
It's a letdown. Yeah. Aaron said you guys were great, and then we're not.
It's like, sorry.
Come on, no.
We'll set apologetic.
For you guys in a second. I just chatted with Damian McCarthy about Hokum, which was awesome. Wow. So that'll be coming up soon. So stay tuned.
That's
amazing. I haven't seen that movie yet, but we have reviewed his other films on the show. Have you seen it? Oh, Bobby, I'm sure you've seen it since you interviewed him. But what did you think of Hokum?
I loved it. I think it's his best one yet. Yeah,
really?
It's great.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely have to check that out when it comes on streaming. And then Adam, since people on the show maybe haven't seen you before, tell us a little bit about your podcast. I know it's a little bit different. You do a lot of music on your show as well, which is super cool. Let everybody know, give us your pitch to our millions of listeners.
Yeah, so I like to mix it up with a bit of horror movies and music. So mostly hard rock and metal, because I always find the metal music and horror goes so well together. So pretty much I interview a lot of musicians in the metal genre and hard rock genre. I also direct. I also interview a lot of short filmmakers as well. So I get a lot of people in the short film industry sending me their stuff for me to watch, review, and I have them on. We can talk about it. And yeah, you can also find the Ghouls Gone Wild on YouTube, Instagram, Spotify, but I'm a bit behind on uploading stuff on there. But I'll get all the other 50 episodes up there soon.
Oh, 50. Okay. That's a lot.
Yeah, me too.
Facebook as well. Yeah.
What would you say?
So
you said you've done a lot of short films and people just send you. I don't have a lot of exposure to short films. So what's one that you've watched recently that we should check out? Do you have a recommendation?
I can probably give you one of the best ones I've watched. Probably the one that I've watched was probably ZombieCon. It wasn't really a short film. It was like a independent B-grade film. It's like these bunch of cosplayers go to a Comic Con convention, and in the middle of that, it's like a zombie apocalypse.
I think
And
I've
then they're
seen
all
that
like fighting.
actually. Yeah, I feel like
Yeah,
I've seen
yeah.
that a couple of years ago, maybe. Is it recent?
It's,
Mm.
I think it's recent, yeah.
Okay,
And
maybe I'm thinking of something else.
dude, it was just freaking awesome. It's like I told the guys, it's like watching Guardians of the Galaxy made Zombieland. It's just like fucking
Yes.
amazing.
Yeah, it's
And
so good.
two
Is
of
it?
my
It's
favorite films.
Aaron Anya and Kyle Del Val, I think, who made that, I believe.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
It's so
Yeah,
good. I
and that's
Yeah.
why we're not playing any trivia games tonight because Aaron knows the random directors of a film that Adam
no,
just happened to pull out of a
I
hat.
interviewed them twice, so
Oh, okay.
that's how I know. Yeah, I
I
had
was
a
like,
lot
Yeah,
of
the
damn.
reason we
them,
only
so-
have Aaron on like once a year is not because we don't want him on more, it's
Oh,
because he
come
makes us
on.
look really dumb. Because he's a lot smarter than we are. But no, don't dumb it down for us. Like we want to hear
Oh
the
my
knowledge.
gosh.
So I mentioned we're going to talk about Child's Play 1 and 2, and I forget why we decided to talk about them, but I'm kind of happy because we haven't done that franchise at all yet. I know I think there's like 7 films in the franchise. The first one for me as a bit of nostalgia because I saw it in the theater when I was probably like 8 years old. I remember I think my stepdad took me to go see it late one night. So I like have a lot of fond memories of it. As a kid, it did scare the shit out of me. And looking back, I do appreciate Child's Play 1. Child's Play 2, I don't feel as strongly about, and that's one I also believe I saw in the theater. And I feel bad for my dad because like my dad had visitation on Saturdays or Sundays, and we needed stuff to do, and he would take me to the movies a lot, and a lot of times it was a movie I picked, and I remember picking this one, and now that I watch it, I feel really bad that I made him sit through this because it's so awful. But we'll kind of get it. We'll kind of get into that a little bit. Like I feel like let's start with part one, the one that kind of spawned it all. So Child's Play 1 from 1988. I'm sure most of you kind of know about Chucky and the plot, but for those of you who don't, I'm going to give it really quick. So, a dying serial killer transfers his consciousness into a popular kid's doll using a voodoo. A struggling single mother gifts her 6-year-old son this doll, and then the doll begins to show them that it's a violent killer, and the only way he could get out of the doll form is if it takes over the kid's body, and some mayhem ensues. So, if you're not like if you've like are familiar with Chucky and are familiar with Child's Play, but if you've not seen this film, it's very different than every film that came after it for the most part. And I haven't seen all of them. But why it's different is it's much darker, I would say, and it's much more of a horror movie. Whereas I think they kind of switched to more of a comedic tone for a lot of the later ones. But this plays like a straight up horror movie, in my opinion. And there's some definitely good scares in it. So I just talked for a minute. I'm gonna like let our guests kind of chime in. And I'd kind of like to know just initial thoughts before we kind of jump into the nitty gritty of it. So, Adam, how do you feel about Child's Play 1 in particular?
Child's Play 1. I think I was maybe 15 years old when I first discovered Child's Play for the first time. And it scared the living shit out of me. You're seeing like this little red-headed doll chasing after this freaking kid. I actually really, the more you watch, at first I didn't really like it because I thought it was just stupid.
Yeah.
But over the years, the more you watch it, you appreciate it more for what it is. And I still think it's like one of the most iconic horror movies that came out that year. But
So
other than that,
even
I thought it was
though
actually a good movie.
Yeah, sorry to cut you off there. So even though the concept of like a killer doll is silly, because like I feel like I could just kick the Chucky doll across the room and not really worry about it. But I do like doll horror movies. Like I do get really into them. And
Yeah.
there's a few that I find really
Mhm.
creepy and scary. There's one from the late 80s, it's called Dolls, that to me is still terrifying. I think it's like maybe Stuart Gordon or I forget who did it.
I
Oh,
have it right
Aaron's
behind me
pulling out.
somewhere.
He's looking
It's
for
somewhere
the D.
here.
It's
in
somewhere
here
in the D section. He has the
He's gonna
physical
pull it and
media
let
of
us know.
Yeah,
So-
Yeah, if you're
it's
stuck with something, just ask Aaron.
he got it already. He got
There
it
we
already.
go.
It's in his
right next
hand.
to
Oh, it's
right next to Doll Man.
I've never heard of Doll Man. Oh, I've never even seen that art before for dolls. That's really cool. Yeah, that movie Dolls scares I think it's Full Moon, right? It scares the shit out of me still. It's so creepy. And it's one I saw as a kid and still love it. So yeah, I do like these kind of movies when they're played more seriously like this one is. So Aaron, how about you? How do you feel about the original Child's Play?
I love it. There's such a huge nostalgic factor for me. I think I was, gosh, I think I was in sixth grade, and I remember the marketing. I feel like it was like targeted for like 10 and 11 and 12-year-old boys because we all wanted to go see it, but our parents wouldn't take us, so we didn't get to see it on the big screen. Um,
except for
I'm
my
very
parent.
jealous. I'm really jealous that you got to see it on the big screen. How awesome is that? I think they really they did such a fantastic job with this because Chucky is witty, he's sarcastic. Brad Dourif as the voice behind him makes Chucky just like Robert Englund makes Freddy Krueger. And I think if you compare the two, there's a lot of similarities between Chucky and Freddy Krueger. And I think they touched on something special, and that's why horror fans love it. That's why all the films came out afterward. Um, I think it's just amazing. And I have some steelbooks. Can I just show my physical
Ooh,
media? I
oh,
got
it's
the
cool
newest
art.
Gorgeous.
Child's Play steelbook. I got the original poster steelbook,
Damn.
Oh yeah, go to
and I
YouTube right
have
now and check out all this stuff.
the Mexifunk
That's rad.
Wow, that's really cool
artistic
art.
version of it.
That's
So,
super cool art.
so when you
That is
ask me,
Yeah,
do I like the film? I love the first one.
it's interesting you say that comparing it to Freddy, and I never really picked up on that, but I do pick on something new when I watch the movie. So like this time I watched it, and the kid Andy, who gets Chucky and who ends up trying to kill him basically, is like his dad just died recently, and you kind of tell they're kind of broke, and like Chucky really kind of plays on that vulnerability and like kind of gets the kid to kind of do some things that he normally wouldn't do. And I think that's a really, really cool like touch that I didn't really notice before. It makes the movie a little bit smarter. And I was reading that originally the idea was that you weren't supposed to really know if it was Chucky doing the murders or Andy until like later on in the movie. And I think that's an interesting way to kind of look at it. And the movie doesn't play that way, but it would have been so cool if they kind of went in that direction. But even though they didn't, like Chucky doesn't talk until like 45 minutes in. So there kind of is that little bit of doubt, like what's actually happening here, which I thought was like kind of like a cool touch to it. Jerry, how about you? I have a feeling you aren't a fan of this movie just because I know your taste, but maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, and that's why I really want to like talk about this film is I want to get this group together of like some hardcore horror fans and really kind of see like what everyone's opinion is about it. Is it a nostalgia play? Is it something that you truly find terrifying, or is it something that through the years you kind of find it's kind of like corny now and it's not as cool. So I don't watch this film often, and I definitely don't critique it when I watch it. But this time when I watched it, I like really dove in, and I could kind of echo a lot of what you all said. I do feel like this one is like a really kind of dark version, and there's like a lot kind of going on there with like family dynamics and issues with like a struggling mom and a basically a latchkey kid, and he's basically she's being a typical mom. She's like, shut up, the doll isn't real. And he's like terrified because he has a doll that's real. And I think that plays well. And I think it definitely, even as a doll, I could relate to it. And I do find it scary. And I like the concept. I think it's really interesting. And I think for a little while, like right in the beginning, like maybe like when uh the mom's friend Maggie died, like,
Mhm.
we've seen the film 100 times at this point, but think it's still kind of ambiguous at that moment. Like maybe it was Andy, maybe it was the doll. So I think it was kind of interesting there where they kind of played with that a little bit. So I think there's a lot to it. There's a little bit of mystery, a little bit of horror, and there's a little bit of gore. And I think put together, I mean, I say I like the film. I don't love it, but if I'm going to set the foundation now, I'm going to say it's a film. It's a good film.
So I will say it is corny in a lot of moments. It is does play. It is really dated for me. Definitely a nostalgia play. I think if I watched it today for the first time, not knowing anything, I don't know if I would like it as much as I do, just because I've seen other movies do the same thing, right? And maybe do it like a little different or a little better. But I will say the movie does have some really good qualities. I think the acting of the child, he's really good. And when we get to part two, like I have a completely different opinion. But in this movie, that kid is really good, showing like terror and like you could tell he's just like going through it. Like again, he's just a kid. And I think he did a really good job. And I think the mother is really good also, of just again this single mom who's just trying her best and doesn't know what to do with it. And she thinks her kid might be a murderer. And then like she finds out like that's not true. Like I think they both did a really good job and help elevate the movie. I think the Maggie's a pretty good character. I think the cop, the hero, is kind of like, typical
Called
cop
Mike.
in like a horror movie. I don't think he's very good, but I do think the other cast kind of really does make this movie better than it probably should be, in my opinion.
Everyone here, like, how would you compare this one to the reboot?
Okay, so I only watched the
Oh.
reboot once, and I don't remember much about it other than I believe he kills a cat in it, and that's a
Yeah, he
hard no
does.
for me.
Yeah.
So if that happens in a movie, it's a thumbs down, and I probably turned it off when
Yeah.
that happened. So I don't really have a good comparison on it because that kind of sours me on a movie because it's just I don't like animal violence in movies, and especially if it's a cat, it's not necessary, and especially like nowadays, like it's just there's a better way to get a scare. So I don't have an opinion. However, like if y'all do. Let's hear it because I don't know enough about the movie.
I think it started great. It was even darker, than this one. But again, I think and they casted like Aubrey Plaza in it. I thought that was really good, and I made it to the point where they killed the cat, and then I turned it off as well. So I have no idea what happened after that, but I was really disappointed because at that moment I was liking it more than this particular version. I don't know if that's crazy, Adam, or not, but would love to hear like what you thought of it or what Aaron thought of it. But at that moment, I did like it more than this one.
It's
Yeah.
okay. I can't say I love it. I'm not even sure if I own a copy. I must.
If you don't own it, then it's not good.
Then
'Cause
it's
you
not
own
worth
every
having.
movie on the planet. Yeah. You have Doll Man on Blu-ray.
I must. Maybe I do. I'll have to check. Maybe it came. Actually, I have the Chucky box set, so it's got to be in there. There's one cool kill scene, if I remember, though, with like a lawnmower or like a riding
Oh,
lawnmower and
yes.
Christmas
Yeah.
lights. That was pretty cool. And that's all I really remember.
Well, the whole thing about it, right, is he could control technology, right? Can he control like this, like in a smart house, or does he like? Is that, or am I thinking of a different movie?
I think it was kind of like a Megan kind of thing. Megan
That makes
2.0
sense.
maybe.
Which is a cool like twist on, because you think like, okay, you have this doll who like I said earlier, I could kick across the room, especially the Chucky doll seems like fluffy
Yes.
and like small and like especially when you see him like fighting the people, I'm like, just take that thing and throw it. But if he could control like my blender, like I'm fucked,
Yes,
I
or
just felt
Alexa,
like that
right?
they
Go ahead.
I feel like they ruined the backstory in the reboot on like how Chucky became this evil little shit, and like, and I love the original idea of a serial killer gets shot, then his soul went into a fucking doll and just becomes evil and shit like that. Like I prefer that than some manufacturing fucking error.
Oh, right, they flip a
doll and
switch
it
by
makes it more
accident. It's
evil.
like the kill switch or something, right?
Yeah,
That
he
makes it
changed the
evil.
chip. Yeah, that just
Yeah.
ruined
Yes.
it. That ruined
Yeah.
the whole thing. Like it's just like no, I prefer the possessed doll instead.
You go with
Yeah.
you go with the voodoo. I think for some reason in the 80s, voodoo was quite terrifying, and I feel like if you watch this film and you buy into that first 10, 15 minutes of it, and I don't know why they did this film so well, but yet those kind of like special effects when he's like kind of transferring into,
It's like
from
the animated lightning
yeah,
and shit
from
like
like
that.
Charles Lee Ray
lightning,
into
yeah.
Chucky. Like it looks so cheesy when the film is done so well. I don't know why they do that, but I feel like if you buy into that, then you're like, all right, this film is brilliant. You're like,
I give
you're
it a
good.
pass on that though, because every movie in the 80s did the same thing with the
With the
like,
voodoo?
the drawn on not voodoo, but like that drawn on lightning kind of shit. Like they do it in Hellraiser. They do it. It looks terrible now, and maybe it looked terrible then too, but you were used to it. Like that's how every movie was with that kind of stuff.
I think with Hellraiser, they did that intentionally. I've seen an interview with, I believe, Clive Barker, and he was saying that they kind of wanted that cartoonish look at the very end with the lightning. And
Really, that's such a
so I think
bummer.
that
Like
was
why?
it wasn't like
The movie's so dark.
it wasn't like this is the best, effects we can afford. I think they did it intentionally to look
Let's make
to
this
look
movie
like
look
that.
shitty.
Yeah, I still love it though. You know
No,
what
yeah.
they should have done with the remake is go more in the direction like Joe Begos did with Christmas Bloody Christmas, like a Terminator-esque
Oh,
Chucky.
yeah.
How cool would that have been? Count me in. That'd be cool.
would have been
Not
more
that anyone listens to
terrifying.
me, right? But
Yeah,
yeah,
it would have been
like a
terrifying. Yeah,
Terminator Chucky would have been
like you
cool.
can't destroy it. Yeah, that would be sick.
I mean,
And
you
I
kind of can't destroy this Chucky, right? Like they fuck this thing up. Like they shoot it multiple times.
Yeah.
Like so. And one thing I will say, like so, in the final scene where they had the big confrontation with Chucky in the apartment, and they're like shooting his arms and legs off. He gets burned in a fire. He looked disgusting and terrifying. Like when he was all burned up towards the end. Like that is.
Hmm.
I watch that now, and I'm like, that's nightmare fuel right there. Like whether the movie's scary or not is subjective, but like the vision of him all like fucked up is really scary.
Perfect
Yeah.
blending of practical and gory effects, and it holds up so well. I completely agree.
One
Yeah,
thing I'll say
I
too
agree on that
is
one as well.
they did a good job of like hiding that it's a doll that's doing a lot of this. Like the way they do the camera, like it's a lot of POV stuff, or they just show like kind of
Hmm.
hands. And the kills, like I would like one kill is like basically he like turns on a guy's gas and blows up the house. Like the other kill is like he's stabbing a voodoo doll. So they did it smartly, so you didn't have to have this, fake animatronic doll like moving weird and stabbing somebody. Like so I think they did a good job of hiding the effects. It's funny when you compare it to the part two where I think they made the doll look really bad with just the movements. Here they did a great job. I know it's a mixture of animatronics and they used actual actors to do a lot of this stuff, and I think it comes off really
Hmm.
well. Like you could kind of suspend disbelief that this is just like a fake thing. And I think they did a really good job with that. And I think having the kills the way they did, where they're not like these crazy like slasher-ish kills, they're a little more creative. Kind of works in this movie, I think.
Yeah, I think the movement of Chucky in the first one is way beyond the second one. And from what I understand, the second one was supposed to be like an advancement of technology by the time they got there, where it was using like a master animatronics and like maybe like one puppeteer versus like 4 or 5 puppeteers that were
Hmm.
like working the initial Chucky, but it didn't translate that well. I think the movement was more realistic and scarier in the first one than the second one. And I don't know what the consensus is and what people think, but all I remember is that it was a big deal. That's like, oh, we only need like one person to like work Chucky now, and
They should have hired four more.
Yeah.
okay, so it sounds like I'm not the only one
No,
thinking
it's
that.
it's dramatic to me, like how different like the
It
doll
is.
looks, and like and again they did more where they could with facial expressions in the second one, but it looks bad.
Hmm.
And the movements look jerky. Like I feel like it almost seemed like they oh, what is this?
You can
Oh,
see the two
the comparison of the two. Yeah,
between
the dolls
the
like
two covers,
the two. Aaron's holding up Child's Play 1 and Child's Play 2 next to each other.
and then
Yeah,
there's
it's
two
just a
like
big
that.
difference. Oh, there we go. Oh, that looks cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I feel like the effects in the second one were so much worse than this one, which was probably lower budget, which is just interesting. Like they took a step backward, in my opinion.
I I do love the Toy Store
Oh yeah,
mayhem, the final act of part two. It's like every kid's
That was
kind of
good.
dream, right? It's like the ultimate
Yeah.
horror movie showdown, for lack of a better word.
yeah.
Oh,
I think
the
we,
final
yeah.
battle where they're fighting in the actual toy store where the
In the
Chucky
like,
doll was
there's
made.
yeah, yeah. Oh my God, and it just keeps going, right? The effects are just fantastic. I'm a fan of the ending of that one. I do like the first
Was it
two. I
the
like the third one as well. Beyond that, they kind of lose me, to be honest.
So I know I've
was
seen
it the
them
cop?
all, I believe, but it's been a long time since I watched 3 or Bride of Chucky, or I don't think I've ever seen the ones after Bride of Chucky, but it's been a long time, so I don't remember them very well. Sorry, I think I cut off Adam.
In the second one, wasn't the copper dies like in the fucking machine or something like that? He gets like the fake eyes stuck into his face or some shit like that. I thought that was cool.
In the Toy
That looks
Store,
freaky as
Yeah,
shit.
that was that was
Yeah.
that was the highlight,
the
I think.
factory.
Yeah, yeah,
Highlight of the
that
whole
was
movie. Yeah, they end
awesome.
up in like the assembly line basically where they're making dolls, and
And they plug
somehow
the
Chucky
eyes
Yeah.
in.
gets
Yeah.
the security guard, I believe, like onto the conveyor belt, and he gets the fake eyes pushed into his own eyes, which is really gnarly. All right, so
Mhm.
I guess we're jumping around a little bit. We might as well kind of compare the two. So one thing I will say is this one, the second one, does go in a bit of a different direction. It does feel a little more comedic, but to me, it wasn't funny. It just felt not as dark. The premise is really silly, how like Chucky gets into, and I'm forgetting the very beginning, but Chucky gets into a different doll. Andy, his mom is sent to an institution, so he goes to live in a foster house. Somehow the Chucky doll ends up back at that house, and even though Andy is terrified of the doll because of what happened, they keep the doll around, and the doll is just there, and it makes no sense why that would happen. Like I would want to be nowhere
Why
near
would
that
they
thing.
have it?
Why would they have it? They know what happened, but then why wouldn't they just get rid of it? And then I know you get rid of it, it comes back, but like keep getting rid of it. Like there's no reason for that doll to
That
be
part
here. So
didn't make sense.
it made no sense
Not
to
at all.
me.
Yeah.
And and I feel like Andy acting almost felt like he was phoning it in this one. Like his acting is terrible, and he's really good in the first one. So you think
I don't think he was
better?
that good in the first one though, dude. I think
Really?
he had like I
I
think he
just-
had like 15 lines in the first one, and that story is really driven by like the adults, you know. So like, you know, Mike and Karen are really handling like a bulk of the dialogue, and you know,
So you think I'm
Andy
just
is
thinking he's
act-
good because he wasn't in it that much?
yeah, I think he's acting well. I don't think he's
what you
delivering
don't see.
lines well. And I think in the second one, it switched, and now it's like from the POV of like, I guess the kids. So it's like Andy and Kyle, which I don't know how old she was supposed to be, but she looked like she was like 28. But I mean, she was supposed to be a teenager.
You know what though? She gets a pass though because I had the biggest crush on her when she was Emily Valentine
Christina
in
Lee.
Beverly Hills 90210. So I was like, I saw her in this movie. I was like, oh shit, like she's in this because I was like really into her for a hot minute. But yeah, I agree.
All right, I'll give you
She's
that.
not a teenager. She's not a teenager. Okay, so
But-
maybe the fact that he's kind of expected to carry.
So let's
the
put it this
movie-
way.
Yeah.
I just around that
Maybe.
same time, you know, Macaulay Culkin was like an actor as well, pretty much the same age, and I don't think there's even a comparison between like, you know, two leads as far as like, you know, driving a movie. I don't think that kid could barely get lines out, and I feel like his emoting kind of went down as well. It was like almost like overacted, and I hated him in the second film. He kind of like took me out of it so much. I'm like, oh, this kid again. But yet in the first one, when he was just kind of like running into like a warehouse holding the big Chucky doll, I'm like, that looks awesome. That looks cool. I'm loving this. I'm feeling this. I'm scared for this kid. What's gonna happen? And the second one, I'm like, get this kid out of here. I don't know.
Okay, so the kid always sucked. He just sucks more in the second one. Fair. Okay.
Yeah, the
He's a
second
piece of
one, more
shit, and he
screen
should have
time.
never acted. I got it. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not disregarding what
He's
you're
not a
saying.
kid
I'm just
anymore,
saying,
so I can say this.
fuck that kid.
I mean, it kind of happens with some actors. Like, look at what is it, Edward Furlong in Terminator 2. He's fantastic, but then it didn't translate well to other films
Drugs.
from an actor's perspective.
he did get really into drugs.
He is making a comeback. I have seen some recent films, and he's quite good in them. So
Are you
I
saying
actually
Andy was on
heard-
drugs?
No. I heard Edward Furlong actually is really good.
He was
to work
9.
with. He was-
yes, I've heard that too.
Yeah.
But the kid Andy Barclay, right? Is that the actor's? No, that's the kid name. Alex Vincent's the actor's
Yeah,
name.
you know. Don't ask me.
And I have a couple notes here. So yeah, but he does conventions, so you can meet him and get a picture with him. He doesn't look like a kid anymore. He's probably about our age.
Just won't
and,
tell him how bad of an actor he is. Okay.
Just get his autograph and have him hold the Chucky doll and get a picture next.
Yeah, that's actually pretty cool. The other thing, other than kind of like the movie being a bit ridiculous that I didn't like about the second one, is they really kind of changed how they shot it. And I was reading that they were trying to make it more from kids' POV, which meant there's a lot of like shots looking up and a lot of really weird close-ups. Like the movie just looks weird to me when I watch it. Like the shots they use, the angles, it really
Yeah,
takes me out of it. It's bizarre. Like it's a weird looking movie. And if you get past that, cool. I couldn't. Like the whole thing, I'm just watching like this doesn't feel right. It just looks odd. Which is interesting how little things like camera angles can make a huge deal.
Absolutely. And it's very strange with the foster parents, the way they react to certain things. Like when I was listening to the Opening Kill podcast recently, and they were talking about part 2, the parents walk in and there's Christina Lisa's character standing over Andy, who's tied to the bed, and they don't even seem to really react to that.
Oh,
It's like,
right. Yeah.
what
That
the
was so
hell?
bizarre. Like, oh, he must have did it to himself, or like the Emily
Why
Valance
are you
Kyle
tying
did it.
him to
Like,
his bed,
it,
right?
and then wouldn't he like make a bigger deal, like freaking out? Like, no, it wasn't her. It was the doll. Like, I'd be like, well, if he's
Yeah,
saying it's not her, like, I don't want to believe it's the doll, but it was, yeah, you're right. It was so bizarre. Like, it was one of the
strange, right?
oddest scripts that they ever made into a film. It made no sense. And like, I get it. It was probably mostly like a money grab because it did come out like 2 years, I think, after the first one or a year after the
Oh,
first one.
absolutely.
So
Yeah, the
like, I don't
box
think they
office.
really tried very hard with it. And to me, it shows. It's just
And why
weird
was
how
she
they went.
crawling in his window and not her window?
Yeah, that part didn't make sense either. So
Okay,
I
there we go.
rewatched that movie. I
Yeah.
rewatched
So
that
just
movie
to,
yesterday on my lunch break at
Hmm.
work, and because it's been a while since I watched it, and thought I'd just refresh my memory. There's like heaps of scenes in that movie that just didn't make sense at all. But all horror movies are like that, right? There's always going to be a couple of
no.
scenes.
That's true. No, no.
I mean, bad ones, yes, but not good ones. Yeah, just to set up the scene,
Yeah.
like basically
Oh,
Chucky
for
like
sure.
ties Andy to the bed, and he's gonna do his
Mhm.
voodoo to get into Andy's body, and then
Yeah.
Kyle, his foster sister, sneaks in through the window, makes a ruckus. The parents, the step parent or the foster parents come in, see it, and don't really give a shit. Like they're just like, oh, okay, so what?
Yeah.
Like, which is just so odd that, like, especially like
Yeah.
your foster parents, I'm sure they've dealt with like all kinds of stuff. They know this kid has like a ton of trauma. So like tying him up is kind of a big deal. Like, you know,
Mhm.
and I don't know if they really understand like what actually happened. Cause like, okay, so what happens in Child's Play 1, right? They end up killing like this killer doll, but how do they explain that afterwards? And since the mother does go to a
Mhm.
asylum, I'm assuming they don't believe them that that happened. So I'm just like curious to know like what the public perception was like in the movie, like what like this kid saying this shit happened. Like, is this kid crazy? Like, what were they thinking? Like, you know, right? 'Cause there's no real
Yeah.
evidence of this happening.
Well, even with the end of part two, how would they explain what happened at the toy factory?
Like, they're going to jail. Andy's going
Yeah.
to jail.
They
dude.
just
Yeah.
destroyed like $1 million worth of merchandise. Like they're in trouble. I want to go back just a little bit, guys, to the tying up scene and basically even kind of
Of
going
course you
back
do,
to
you
like
freak.
yeah. One, how do you do that to yourself? Just guys, if you could just give me some advice. No, I'm
I've
kidding.
tried.
All right.
I could get one and then like
It's like
Then you're like, oh man.
I can't do it. So yeah, clearly the parents should have known that. But since the first, like probably halfway through the first Child's Play and all the way through the second one, the most important thing was basically for Chucky to get this ritual off, and he was so desperate to do it. Why the fuck did this guy take his time every single time he had the opportunity to actually perform the ritual? It's like he really want to like do the ritual or not? Because he's just like he'll talk for 5 minutes. He's like, now I'm gonna perform this ritual, and of course something happens. It's that trope where it's like it stops it, but it's like why don't you just get like right to it? Like
I would have said those words so fast.
yeah, it happened. Like they should have made it like with a little more like desperation to it, and then come up with scenarios where they still stopped it instead of him like stalling and taking his time. And to me, I found that very frustrating. I'm like, dude, you live in a doll, and also the lore, which I found very strange. So apparently he had to go into Andy, and you guys could stop me if I'm wrong here because I don't know this movie perfect, but the lore is he had to go into Andy because he was the first person he revealed himself to. My question is, why would you choose a 9-year-old kid and not the mom, not an adult, not that homeless guy that was selling him on the street, and they gave that guy a horrible name, like that. What would they call? They called him like I forgot
I don't know.
the name that they called like homeless people. It was really horrible. I was like, what? That's what you're calling them?
So I could actually answer
go
your
ahead.
question. So he
Yeah.
didn't mess with the homeless guy, I'm assuming, because one, like he was in the box, I think, and he probably couldn't get out of it. But I think he chose the Andy versus the mother is because first of all, he was given to Andy and they were alone together that first kind of night. But I think he realized that that kid was vulnerable and he could get him to like take him to his ex partner's house. He can get him to like kind of do shit, Whereas like the mother's like not gonna like she's gonna be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like this kid like needed this doll as like a father figure almost, and clearly the kid didn't have any friends. He was all alone, so like he latched onto this doll. So I think that Chucky being a sociopathic serial killer like kind of caught that and was just like, okay, I can get him to kind of like be my cover. Until he did what he needed to do, right? Like it's kind of weird that he would kind of keep going back to the kid early on because he doesn't know about the voodoo thing until later in the movie. So he kind of like has the kid bring him some places. But I feel like once he kind of did like a couple of things, like why wouldn't he just kind of like move on? But maybe he was still figuring out like what am I going to do next? Like because all of this happens pretty quickly, right? Like he gets the killer gets put into the doll. I guess the doll gets sold or the homeless guy steals it after the fire and then he gets up to this woman's house. So like it's all kind of rapid, I think. So that's my explanation.
I'll go with that. You know,
Okay.
I feel like there was a better target out there for him, like something that he could do a little more damage with, being that he was still like in essence a serial killer, and he'd probably have to, you know, wait a little bit to get like Andy up to like that physical necessity he needed to continue, like his
I
serial.
So he's like a little kid.
I mean, what would you do if like you had Chucky and it
if-
was like, oh, by the way, I'm a serial killer. I want to go do some fucking serial killer shit. Like, I'd be like, bitch, get me a drink. Like, what are you doing?
See, if I was Chucky though, man, I would have went after the police officer that shot him instead of the fucking kid.
Something,
be honest
right?
with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something. I just don't know why the kid. Yeah, for sure.
Doesn't
Yeah.
he explain it at some point? Like he says, like this kid is the perfect like disguise. Like no one would ever suspect me.
Yeah, when he finds out he's got to go into the kid's body, he's actually excited because he's like, oh, cool, I can start over and live my whole life
Start all
again.
over again.
And no
Yeah.
one's going to expect me because I'm a kid or suspect me because I'm a kid, right? So to me, it sounds like a nightmare. Like I would not want to be in a little kid's body. It sounds like the worst thing to do. Like I
Oh
don't
my
want to
God,
be 10
middle
years
school
old again. Yeah, exactly. So I get beat up
High
like,
school
over and over
again? Oh my
yeah,
God.
no, thank you.
No,
Like, put me
thank
in
you.
Maybe 22, I'd be all right with. But, like, not,
College, yeah.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Get a job. I'd probably stay in the doll, to be honest with you.
Okay, so what about the timeline? So in the first one, he has to move into Andy because he's going to become the doll. Like he starts to kind of become human. And then in the new one, it's like time has passed, but the timeline hasn't, or it's restarts in a way. Did they ever explain that?
No.
I mean, I think it's just sort of a flaw with the film. Maybe it resets because he's now in a
In a
new
different doll?
Chucky
He
doll.
was-
So I think, and maybe I'm thinking about this the wrong way, but I don't know if he's going to permanently become the doll, but he's able to die in the doll form. But then if he goes into Andy, he's going to be able to die too, I would
Yeah.
think. So like that was the whole thing why he wanted to get out of the doll was because he's mortal, right? Like I feel like that's the
In the
conversation
doll.
they had, that he's mortal
Okay,
in the
yeah.
doll. So he wants to go to Andy, but would he be immortal in Andy? Because so what ends up happening, just for the audience who has not seen this film, is the Chucky tries to kill the cop. The cop shoots Chucky and he's bleeding. And he's like, "What the fuck?" So Chucky goes to his voodoo teacher and is like, "What the hell? I didn't think I was able to die if I did the spell." And the guy's like, "You need to go into the body of Andy." But it doesn't make a lot of sense. And also, so just to back up even more, to make this even more complicated, the serial killer is a human in the beginning of the movie. He's shot by the cop, and out of desperation, he puts himself into the doll. If there was a human being, I imagine he would have put himself into that human being. And he had the feeling, he thought that he would be immortal doing that. But so now I'm confused. I just talked for 2 minutes and I have no idea what I just said. I give up.
But I'm kind of with you. It makes sense. I like the.
It makes sense,
you're
but it doesn't at the same time. So, like, you know what? It's
I'm
Chucky.
with you,
It's a
right?
doll. Like, we're overthinking it. I think by analyzing it. I don't think they knew
Well-
either. Like what the plot of it was, but
Well,
that's
I
fine.
haven't seen any others. What is happening now? Clearly, he never transferred over, so he's just living life
Yeah, part
as a
three.
doll.
Andy's not in part three, right? There's another child, like a military school or something that
They
he
go to
Yeah,
military
they-
school.
Is Andy in part
Yeah.
three?
Mm,
some
I don't
reason I thought it
know.
was
Let me
another
double
kid.
check because
I think
I thought they might have
is.
changed the actor.
Isn't Christina Elise back in the third one?
Hang on, I'm looking this up on IMDb.
I just rewatched
For
it
some reason, I
maybe
thought the
a year
lead was like
ago.
an African American kid in part 3, but maybe I'm just.
They were ruthless with the cast in
Yeah,
these films, man.
they got another actor to play Andy in number
Oh, so he's
3.
still Andy. He's just black now.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Okay. All
So
right. I
they
mean,
just got another person.
oh no, wait, no, sorry. Andy is Justin Whalen, who's a white guy, and there is a someone named Tyler, played by Jeremy
And
Silvers, who's
that's
like,
his
oh, wait,
friend,
that's his
I
Yeah.
friend,
think.
who's a younger
And
boy.
is Christina Elise back in the third one?
Uh,
Maybe I'm wrong.
she's not one of the
Um,
top people, so it's possible.
I
Yeah,
think
who
they
knows?
had
Who the
to
fuck knows?
because Andy had grown up in real life. Alex Vincent, I think, had gotten too old.
Oh, and part 3
I
has a
believe
different voice playing Chucky. Brett Dourif is in Chucky in part 3. Interesting. Oh
seriously.
wait, no, he is. Hold on.
Okay,
Chucky
I was
and
gonna
Good
say.
Guy Doll. There's a
Okay,
voice.
I was
Oh,
like,
okay. So
what?
there's a voice for Good Guy Doll, and there's a voice for Chucky. All right, we just went on a tangent. I don't really know, but I'm not gonna watch part 3 ever, probably. So,
It's pretty good. I'd
all
give
right.
it a
Well,
go.
like compared to part 2, is it good compared to part 2? Like, before you say it's
I
good, how do you
I
feel about
think the
part 2?
first I do like part 2. I think part
Okay.
3 is maybe a little better. The first 3 are my favorites. Beyond that, it kind of falls apart.
I do
Not
remember
falls
liking
apart.
Bride of Chucky just because it was campy as
Yeah, it
hell.
gets
But I haven't seen it
goofy
in a
and
long
campy.
time. Yeah.
I mean, I like the
Bef-
kills in part 2. I think those are like
Yeah.
really ramped up,
Mm.
like much better and more of like that slasher vibe in the second one. And they're like kind of like outlandish, like you mentioned, Adam, that like went with the inserting of the eyes, and then there's like that teacher that's basically killed with like a ruler, right? I mean, it's a ruler.
Yeah, that scene really jumped me because I wasn't expecting
Yeah.
that scene to happen. Like, obviously, when the teacher opens up the door and searching for Andy, or what was that noise or whatever it was, fucking yeah, there's Chucky with that fucking ruler. Bye bye. It's just like that part made me jump out of the whole movie. Everything else was just like,
Yeah.
It was just a different vibe because like in the first one, Chucky's kind of killing the people. He's just getting revenge for the most part. Like he's killing his old partner, he's killing his voodoo teacher, he's trying to kill the cop, and he ends up killing like a doctor, I think, trying to get to Andy. And in this one, he's just kind of killing everybody. Like there's really no purpose.
Yeah.
He ends up in a place, kills somebody, and then ends up back at Andy's house. It's very weird.
I think he kills
It's
anyone in
definitely
his way.
darker.
And
Yeah,
he really
anyone in
pretty
his
much.
way. Darker, amped up kills. I think they even toned in more on the humor of like the Chucky's expressions and the things that he was saying. They leaned into that a little bit more too.
Yeah, a
This
lot
was
more of
just
those
better.
one-liners kind of thing going on
Very
there. Again,
Freddy.
yeah, I see what you're saying with the
Like
Freddy
Freddy,
kind of.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely more of that coming into this one, which I thought was when they land, they're funny, and when they don't land, you're like, oh. So I think it was like a mix of both, and I think for a sequel, the only thing I was a little disappointed with the amount of kills. Usually they really amp things up, for the second. They double everything up, they go to the extremes. I think this was just kind of like a tad hotter than like say the initial one when it comes to like the horror in it. And I would have liked to if it wasn't going to be as good as a quality film, I would have liked to seen more better of the slasher aspects. I think I would have liked that a little bit more if they added more of
Mhm.
that personally.
Or
But
just go bigger. Like if you're gonna make it a little campier, then go all the way. Like it kind of is half-assed to me with like the humor. Like it's definitely like lighter hearted. I hate even though the movie's darker, it's also like lighter at the same time. Like it doesn't seem very serious. But if you're gonna go that way,
That's
then
true.
make it fucking ridiculous, in my opinion.
yeah.
It
I
doesn't
feel like
it's not funny enough for me to be like, oh, okay, that's really good.
Well, I kind of felt like with Bride of Chucky and Cult and Curse, they kind of went brutal on those movies as well. And you know, you can't really compare them to the Child's Play movies because like now they're just focusing on Chucky instead. Now they're just making it as his own movie, which I thought that was cool. I highly recommend anyone to watch those movies too, by the way. So, and the TV series.
And he gets a wife, so it's a win.
Yeah,
Bride
I
of
know.
Chucky.
First
how
dose
I
sex in
never.
the movie too.
So I watched like a couple of episodes of the TV series, and I kind of bailed, not because I wasn't into it. I think whatever channel it was on, I like had a trial and lost it. So how is the TV series? I know people really loved it.
I really enjoyed it. I liked how they kept to the original cast in that movie with Jennifer Tilly and Brad Roth as Chucky, but also bringing the newer characters in as well. And then, you know, doing the background and doing all these things and learning about Chucky and stuff. And then you get to see Alex Vincent in the show, in the series as well, all grown up, chasing after Chucky as well.
Oh, that's cool. They brought him
Helping the
back.
kids.
Can he act
And
now?
isn't
Or...
Christine? Can he act now?
Yeah,
He's had some.
I'd say
He's taken a few
he's
classes.
yeah, I reckon he's probably gone back to acting school to get his role back.
Yeah.
I guess.
And isn't Christina Lee?
No, I really enjoyed it.
I think.
Ah, shit, I can't remember, man.
I think she has.
It's been a while
So
since
I haven't
last
seen it, so
watched
I don't know.
those.
I do have a steelbook of it over there. I should.
Oh.
I'm looking around my
Didn't
basement.
crack
I'm
it
seeing
yet.
like, oh, there's Chucky over there. Why didn't I grab these things? But before we end, I do want to get my full life-size Chucky in a box over there.
Oh, grab it now.
We
Grab it now.
we have to
Hell
see
yeah.
that.
I'll go get
Yeah.
it. All right.
Yeah, we
Aaron's
have
gonna
to
grab
see that.
a life-size Chucky doll.
And let's
let's
hope
just
things-
go. Let's go to Aaron's house right now.
Another thing that's,
just like to sit there and just amaze his shit.
There was one funny-ish thing in part 2, and there's a scene where Chucky's like biting the shit. Oh, okay. Aaron just pulled out the
Oh
Goo Guy
my
doll in the
God.
packaging, so you're safe.
That
Aaron
is
was
sick.
in the packaging.
It's
Very
big,
cool.
right?
Very cool. Yeah, it's like
This
that's
was,
like looks like 4 feet tall or 3 feet tall.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's huge. This was a Spirit Halloween buy the day after Halloween.
Oh,
I haven't taken it over, but
That's
I love that
awesome.
his hair flips around and everything.
That's so
That,
cool.
that
Does
looks
it talk?
so.
It does not talk. So I got this, I
Oh,
think
ripped off.
75% off. So I think I paid like $25 for it.
No way, man.
You know what's funny too? In the original, Chucky comes with like various tools. He comes with like a hammer and I think like a knife and like some other crazy shit. It's like it's a kid's
actually
doll.
Give me 1 second.
Oh, everybody's
Oh
grabbing
wait,
their shit.
everyone's gonna grab some shit.
What do you
Hell
have?
Yes, yes.
I got
Let's
nothing
see. That's it. What do we got? Oh,
Very
we got a
cool.
little toy Chucky.
Yes.
hell
You can
yes.
switch
There we
like
go.
his hands and stuff and put the blade and stuff like that.
He's got
That's
the
cool.
Oh, cool.
All right,
Hours
again,
of fun.
everybody go to YouTube,
Yeah.
watch this. You can see so much cool merch and
awesome
toys
collectibles
and
going on.
all kinds of stuff. Yeah, I have nothing
Yeah, man.
over here.
You do have an Art the
whiskey.
Clown hat that I see up there.
I
as
do have
well,
an
so
Art
I
the
give
Clown
you-
hat. Yeah, I do have a Terrifier 3 hat that
Oh,
I'm wearing
yeah.
that was
Okay,
gifted to
cool.
me from somebody.
I have an Art the Clown tattoo on my leg, so there you go.
Nice.
All right, next time we'll have to do show and tell for tattoos. But
Tattoos.
what was I going to say about Chucky? Oh yeah, there's a scene where Chucky's like biting the shit out of Kyle's neck, and there's like no wounds, no nothing. It's just like clearly like nothing happened.
Oh, yeah.
Like there's like some silly stuff like that if you're really paying
big
attention. And what's funny too is if you watch it now, like if you suspend disbelief, right? When they're like there's a scene in the first one where the mom is like wrestling, when she finally realizes it's Chucky, which to me is a really scary scene because like she's at her wit's end. She's like her kid's in a psychiatric hospital. She doesn't know what to do, and she's like, "Did this doll do
Yes.
anything?" And then she finds the batteries, and she's like, "Huh, that's interesting." Like,
And the
maybe
head
there's-
spins around.
yeah, and then she picks up Chucky and like opens it up and like there's no batteries and she's like, "What the fuck?" So she's like screaming at the doll and the music is like really tense and then the thing just turns and says like something like "Let go of me, you bitch" or something crazy and then just starts fighting.
Gets a
And
mouth,
to me,
yeah.
as a kid, that scared the shit out of me and it's still like really effective and really creepy scene. But like it's funny when you watch it and if you're really paying attention, like the doll is like flailing its arms like while they're wrestling, and it looks actually pretty silly. Like I think they did a good job at editing it, so you kind of like if you're not really paying attention, it looks like a legit kind of fight, but it's very clear that she's like wrestling this inanimate object if
And
you're
then
paying
things,
attention.
yes.
But
And
like
doesn't it
speaking of,
switch between that and like a little person
it
in
does, yeah.
costume?
They
So
use
it's like this
both.
big,
So
and then all of a sudden it's this big.
yeah, if you're not paying attention, you'll miss that. Like I think they did a really good job, but if you are paying attention, like you will totally notice these things.
Yes, yes. I
But
think
so like
4K. I love 4K, but I think it's kind of ruined some of those movie magic moments with certain films because you're like,
I won't watch these
oh,
older movies in
that looks
4K
so
Agree with that
fake.
100%.
Yeah, I
100%.
won't
I
watch
was
them in
just having this
4K.
conversation. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to watch
Yeah.
older movies on a shitty TV, like how it was meant to be watched, like so you don't pick up on these like
Yeah.
these little things like that.
I don't know.
And but
I
just talking
love
about
the
how
4K experience, but go ahead.
I love the experience for newer stuff, but I think for older stuff where it's supposed to be where we're used to it grainy or like which hides a lot of these kind of things, I prefer to kind of like have these
Yeah.
things hidden to my eye. But so you take that scene that to me is still pretty scary and effective, and then you compare it to like any scene in part two, and there's no scene like that that's really scary. I think the closest scene is when Andy's walking around the basement and he's got like this electric knife. And he's like
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
looking for Chucky. But even that's not scary. Like the music just wasn't scary. It was kind of like, I don't know, it just didn't play right. So like if I was to compare these two movies, like I think the first one again is really good at establishing tone, and the second one's a
Mhm.
little bit all over the place. And because add that with the bad writing and the bad acting, it's just it's not a watch for me. So really quick, so what we do on this show is we do rate every movie on a scale of 0 to 5 bloody knives, 0 being the worst, 5 being the best. We we usually do a little bit of drinking, Jerry and I, to this. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm going to give my rating. Jerry's gonna drink that number of sips. So if I give it a 3, he's gonna drink for 3 seconds, vice versa.
I could do that.
Because of how my Zoom is set up, Adam is right below me, Aaron is right below Jerry. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tack on Adam's rating to my drinking, and that's how we're gonna do it. So I don't know if I explained that because I'm tired and my throat hurts, but that's what we're gonna do. I will call it out. So I'm gonna give my rating first because
Are
why
you
not?
averaging them out, or are you just doing each one
No.
individually?
So if Adam gives it a 4, I'm doing 4
No, which
extra.
one? No, which one?
Huh?
Which one are we rating?
Oh yeah, that's right. We're doing 2 movies, huh?
Yeah,
All right,
that
yeah.
could be-
We'll average it out. We'll average it out. We'll average it out.
Okay.
Party starts. Yeah.
You know what's funny? Like
It's
in
gonna be brutal.
in my head when I was planning out the show, I thought we would do 1, rate 1, do 2, rate 2, but because we kind of combine them,
Yeah,
I'm all
we just
fucked
kinda
up right
start
now.
talking.
So we're gonna average it out. So here's what I'm gonna do. On part 1, I still like the movie. I enjoy it. It has a nostalgia feel. Is it amazing? No, but do I like it? Yeah. I'm gonna give it a 3. Will I watch it again? Yeah, I'll definitely watch it again. I'm gonna give it a 3. Part 2, I don't give low ratings like this often, but to me, this is honestly, in my opinion, it's one of the worst movies we've reviewed on this show in the past like couple of years. I'm giving it a 1. I will never watch part 2 again, so I'm giving it a 3 and a 1, which is an average of 2 for me. Let's see, Adam, how about you? First, Child's Play
Okay,
1 and then
so-
part 2.
Okay, Child's Play 1. It's such an iconic movie. It's one of those movies you can rewatch again with your friends, date night maybe. I'll probably give it a 4. It's a classic horror film, man. It's just Chuck is an icon now. He's part of the, I guess, the slasher goats.
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
could say.
Agreed.
Yeah, give that a 4. Number 2, mixed reviews on that. I'll probably give it a 2.5. It's maybe one of those movies I won't watch again. But yeah, but
All right, so-
if we're rating the kills as well, I'll probably think like I'll give the kills and maybe a 4 because I thought like the kills in number 2 are more creative than the first ones.
But overall, you would kind of go 2.5?
Yeah, 2.5.
Okay, so that's I'm gonna just round that down to 3 for you as an average. Aaron, how about you?
Okay, let's see. The first one, the one that started it all, like I said, the nostalgic factor is huge. I'm a fan of it. I would give that one a 4. I think it was innovative at its time. It's been copied a lot since, but I like what they did with it. And Brad Dourif as the voice of Chucky is just amazing.
Iconic.
I do like the second one. I don't think it's as good as the first one, but Adam touched upon it with the kills. I think the kills they're not as many, but there are a few in there that are top notch. So I would give the second one a 3. And
Okay.
it's one I watch every few years. I wouldn't say I would never watch it again. So
Fair. Okay, so
There you
that's
go.
going to be okay, Jerry, you next.
Yeah, this is tough. I'm conflicted. I'm getting into these films. Probably ignored them for most of my life. Probably because I thought they were made for kids. Still, Chucky's a good character, man. He is good. I do like the first one. I'm gonna go 3.5 for the first
Wow,
one.
that's
Yeah,
bold. I
I'm
didn't
gonna
think
go.
you'd be that
I'm
high.
gonna go 3. I'm gonna go 3.5 on the first one. Because it's just recent. Maybe the last 2 years, I really just kind of started watching this and getting more into it. There's something there. The second one, it was missing something. I don't know what it was missing. Whether it was the mystery of the first one, the quality of the acting. I don't know what it was, but it definitely felt like it was missing something. Andy in the second one really kind of he just took me out of the film so many times where I didn't feel that way in the first one. So I think I got to go with a 2
Really? Okay.
on part 2. So 2 gets 2. Rich has a lot of math.
Yeah, and I don't know if I did this right, but here's what I got in
You're
my
probably way off, bro.
calculations. Probably off by 10. But
That's AI.
I'm gonna drink for 6. Jerry's gonna drink for a high 5.5. Let's cheers to that.
5.5.
Cheers.
All right, cheers. There we go.
Cheers, my ice water. Stay hydrated.
Damn.
Yeah,
I'm gonna tell. I'm
Go
gonna
ahead.
tell you guys something, man. Every time, like, because my screen is a little smaller and only got you guys on half screen. Every time, like, Aaron takes over my screen, I'm just thinking about that fucking doll behind him, and I'm like, did it turn its head?
Is it moving?
Is it moving? What's happening
man.
back there?
Missed
Is he okay?
I should have done this right from the beginning. That would have been awesome.
I've got a question I want to ask everyone here,
Sure.
and it's been
Yeah.
in the back of my mind for the last like 20 minutes when we were recording this. Who would win in the fight, Leprechaun or Chucky?
Ooh, good one. Good
Leprechaun
one.
could do magic, so Leprechaun.
Going Leprechaun.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Chucky, man.
Really?
I think Chucky's more brutal. I don't know, man. I think he'd rip that leprechaun apart.
It's a good question.
He'll
but-
call him a bitch as well, and then rip him apart.
And then rip them apart. Yeah, but the leprechaun could just come back together again with the magic element.
Yeah.
I think I'm with.
I'd
Rich
rather
on
fight
this.
Chucky personally. Like if I had to fight one of the two, I'd rather fight Chucky.
Yes.
I'm kind of scared of. I'm also scared of leprechauns. Like I don't really want to fight a leprechaun.
I'm
That's
scared of
bad juju.
inanimate objects that come to life and try to kill you.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like every kid's biggest fear. Whenever I was like playing in my room and I had some dolls, and like you get creeped out, you kind of creep yourself out for a second. Like, did that bear move? Was that the wind? Like, I don't know, man. Inanimate objects moving freak me out, man. And I think that's definitely the nerve that Chucky taps on probably in the first one, and then probably taps into like the slasher tropes in the following ones.
It's like the clown in the first Poltergeist. Terrifying.
I feel like they've probably done comics on this, but those would be some interesting mashups, right? Like Chucky versus Annabelle, or like Chucky
Yeah.
versus like Puppet Master toys, or just like some shit like that would be
I love the
kind of,
Puppet
like-
Master toys. I love those.
I need to rewatch those movies because I haven't seen those.
They're
in a
so
while.
bad,
good.
but they're so
I know,
good.
but
They're so good.
that
Yeah,
doesn't
they're
mean
so
I don't
bad.
want to watch them.
Bad, but good.
But then you have the demonic toys and Doll Man, and then they merged the Doll Man and the demonic toys universe into even more films.
Are those like full moon movies? I don't think I've ever seen
They are.
either of those. I've seen your Doll Man Blu-ray, but I haven't seen your.
He's gonna pull
Just got
something.
this
What are we gonna
set.
pull out?
It's
What is
the-
this?
It's the Doll Man toolbox. It's got Doll Man and demonic toys.
That clown is
Oh,
terrifying.
that's
And-
cool.
And wait for it, it's got Doll Man, demonic toys, Doll Man versus demonic toys, demonic toys 2, demonic toys and Jack Attack, and the Baby Oopsie trilogy.
Okay, well, I'm going to look out for that so I can watch the Baby Oopsie trilogy, whatever the fuck that is. You can follow us on Instagram at Horrorheads Podcast. Email us to horrorheadspodcast@gmail.com. You can listen to this every week. You can listen to this anywhere podcasts are available. You can watch us on YouTube where you can see all of Aaron and Adam's really cool memorabilia. We do release episodes every Tuesday. Make sure you're liking, subscribing, and doing everything you can to support us. Before we wrap up really quick, so Adam, host of the Ghouls Gone Wild podcast, give us a little bit about, again, how they could find you and plug yourself. Here's your chance to talk to our millions of listeners.
Yeah, so you can find me on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and yeah, if there's anything that you guys like, feel free to share, like, subscribe,
So
That's the Ghouls Gone Wild podcast. Aaron from the A&B Horror Movies podcast. How can people find you?
yes, A&B Horror Movies on YouTube
Oh,
and Aaron's
did I say
Movies.
that?
I think
did
so.
I say A&B Horror
You
Movies
said
or did I say Aaron?
podcast.
Okay, I'm fucking it up. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, we'll
A&B
punch
Horror
that out.
Movies. Yes, no, it's totally fine.
I just
A&B
had
Horror
6
Movies
sips.
on YouTube. A couple, interviews I've got coming up. Damian McCarthy talking about Hokum. I chatted with Laurie Cardill, who is Dr. Sarah Bowman in George Romero's Day of the Dead. That's coming up soon. And next, I've got Sam Freeman talking about his new found footage horror called Don't Look in the Dark. If you're looking for something unconventional that's quite scary, check out his film. And there you have it. I try to post every Tuesday and Friday.
Love that title of the movie. Check out A&B Horror Movies podcast. And that's it. That's gonna do it. So thanks guys so much for coming on. It was a blast to have you on. Glad I got to rewatch Chucky and remember when I was 8 years old and was terrified. So have a good night, everybody. Cheers.